Hi guys, Harry here from Colour Pencil Reviews. Thanks very much for joining me today. As you can see, I have a review of the Marco Renoir Fine Art Colour Pencils. This wasn't the review that I had in mind for this particular review, but I've been getting so many requests from people asking me to review this pencil that I had to go out. I went out there, I think it was the beginning of last week, purchased this set and wanted to get this review up as quickly as I could, because some of the requests for this pencil have gone back like a couple of months, and so I really needed to get this out as quickly as I could. I did say on Facebook and Instagram as well that going forward, from now on, when I review a pencil, I would be doing like a little bit of an artwork as well with that particular pencil, just to show people what you can do with the pencil or whatever it is I'm reviewing at that time. When I done the Spectrum Noir markers, I created a drawing, a sketch using those markers, and people found it really beneficial. So I am going to do that with the reviews going forward, but like I've just said, I wanted to get this review out as quickly as I could. And also as well, a lot of people have been asking me in past videos whether the pencils that I've reviewed work well with adult colouring books. I've never particularly used an adult colouring book. In fact, I've never used them at all. But again, going forward from the next review onwards, I will be adding that type of information into the reviews, because it would appear that a lot of people, when they're looking at these coloured pencils, are looking to buy them with adult colouring books in mind. And I'm being asked these questions and I can't answer them because I've never used it. So it's something that I'm going to do. I'm going to buy a couple of adult colouring books. When I do the reviews, I will be able to tell you whether that particular pencil works well with adult colouring books, because I've got no idea what the paper is like on those books or anything like that. And as all colour pencil artists know, the paper is just as important as the pencils themselves. So when I'm reviewing things like pencils or markers or pastels or anything like that, I will also include whether they work well with adult colour books. So that being said, let's get into this review of the 72 set of the Marco Renoir Fine Art Coloured Pencils. So right off the bat, I will say that with these pencils I have been really torn. I've got a real love-hate relationship with them, but I'll go through. And one thing as well, out of all the pencils I've reviewed, these were the hardest pencils to find out any information about the company or anything like that. But I'll give you a quick rundown of the specifications of the pencils, the specifications that I could find in any case. So they are a round pencil. The barrel is round. A lot of people, whether they're round or hexagonal, it's quite important to them. The core is a 3.7mm core, so that makes the barrel around about 6.9mm as well, which is kind of average. These pencils kind of fall in line in terms of their size, their feel, their weight with the Lyra and the Koh-i-Noor pencils. They are a soft oil-based pencil, although when you use them, they feel wax-based. But according to the information that I can find on them, they are a soft oil-based pencil. Now, the real downside to these is I cannot find any information with regards to their lightfast ratings. So unfortunately, as I'm doing this review, I can't give you any information on that. But I will keep looking. I will try and contact the company if I can get any information about the company, even if that means by writing by hand and sending it through the Royal Mail. But I will try and get some sort of information with regards to the lightfast ratings. So, as you can see here with the pencils, now the first thing I noticed when I opened this box up, quite a lot of them, the core of them was chipped, and as you can see here in the images that I'm showing you, they were all like this. Now this isn't anything to do with the shipping or anything like that. This is something like a manufacturing problem. And I know the core is soft, but I've got a lot of other soft core pencils and they have not come to me like this. Another thing that I found strange was, if you look here, in this particular set, they've come with two sharpeners. Now, they are little cheap sharpeners, and that's fine. But two, I have no idea why they've included two in there. But nevertheless, they have. Maybe it's because, you know, it's going to blunt quite quick, so they just put two in. So, like I say, this is a 72 set. Just let me move this tier, and you can see the pencils underneath it. But I will go through the colours and the swatches and what have you a little bit later on. But the pencil itself, so I'm not sure I like this design, but you know, this is completely subjective. It has nothing to do with the pencil itself, but a third of the pencil has got the colour indication of what's in the pigment. Now, as with so many pencils, these colours don't always match what you're going to get when you put it down on paper. That's just a fact of life. I think it must be virtually impossible. However, there are there are a couple of points that I will draw out in a second with regards to this, because with this particular set, there are some strange goings on with regards to the colour that's on the pencil and the pigment that comes out of the pencil. So, as you can see, the information along the side here, on one side of the pencil, I know they're round, so there's not really a side, but you know what I mean, on one end of the pencil, it just says Marco Renoir Fine Art. When you roll it round, it says colour, literally the word colour. Doesn't give you the indication of what colour you're using. Then there's this number here, 31,000, that's on all the pencils, so that's got nothing to do with the actual colour. And the colour number, I'm assuming, is this number here right on the very end. Now, obviously each pencil has its own individual number, but there's no corresponding, you know, it doesn't, there's no indication what this number refers to, because these pencils do not come open stock. The sets that are available for the Marco Renoir Fine Art set are 24, 36, 48, 72 and 100. Now, the really good thing about this particular set of pencils is that they are very inexpensive. So they fall in line roughly, again, with the Lyra and the Koh-i-Noor. So that's the pencil, the specifications of the pencil, how the pencil looks like, that type of thing. So let's move this to the side and let's have a look at the coverage and how the actual pencils perform. So I'm showing you now the swatches that I made for these pencils. So if you can have a look here. Now here's where this really strange thing is, where when I was talking about the paint with the pigment. So just let me zoom in here. Okay, if you can look at those three pencils down here, they're numbered 27, 79 and 44. Okay, now to me, all three of those pencils look like they've been painted exactly the same colour on the end. Okay, there doesn't seem to be a great variation. In fact, it's incredibly minimal. However, when you look at how they've come out on the sheet of paper, there we go, 27, 79 and 44. So you can see there the variation is quite extensive whenever you put it down on paper, as opposed to what it is on the actual pencil. So a lot of people get quite annoyed with the fact that the colour on the pencil doesn't correspond with the pigment that comes out of the pencil. But for me, I create a colour swatch every time I get a new set of pencils, and whenever I'm looking for these pencils to use in a project, I go straight for the colour swatch. I don't even look at the colours. Anyway, if you have a look here, so this is the swatch that I have of the 72 set, and you can see there is a great arrangement of greys, cool greys, warm greys, that type of thing, which I like. There's quite a lot of nice earthy browns and earthy greens, what do you call them, olive greens, that type of thing. A lot of aqua blues. I mean, like in this 72 set, I will say this, there is a really, really good selection of colour in it. And in fact, there's quite a good selection of skin colours, skin tones, that type of thing as well. And here's the second swatch that I've done. Now, I know that, see, what I do is, when I create these swatches, I cut these up into the little strips that you can see here. And then I punch a hole in it and tie a ribbon around them and keep them all together. And so therefore I can use these little squares at the end and put them side by side to a project and try and get the best colour match that I can get. But there's a good selection of reds. I mean, there's a good selection of colour overall in this. So in terms of that, they're really, really quite good. The next thing is coverage, blending, that type of thing. And if you have a look here, this is just on some Derwent paper, which I actually happen to really like. I mean, with coloured pencils, this paper is fantastic. It really, really grips the pencil well. It's a really good pencil, but that's for another review. So as you can see here, this is just kind of like one layer of relatively, I wouldn't say a lot of pressure, but relative pressure. And you can see there the vibrancy and the coverage of the pencil is pretty good actually. As you can see down here, the blendability of the pencil is really good as well. It really blends quite well. In terms of layering, putting layers on it, that type of thing, you're only going to get a couple of layers on this, and then it starts getting kind of like sticky and tacky. So when you're trying to get your next layers on, it's starting to get a little bit sticky and tacky. However, if you do apply some liquid solvents, then that's going to get rid of that, and then you can reapply it. But I'm talking about just if you don't use any solvents or anything like that, and you just use the pencil, you're only going to get about 4 layers on this before it starts getting really sticky and tacky. In my opinion, this pencil is very, very similar to Prismacolor. Very, very similar to it, but slightly better in terms of the quality control. Not greatly better, but slightly better. If we have a look here at this red that I've done at the bottom here, I'm just going to erase it off because it is quite a, like I say, it's an oil-based pencil, but it appears waxy. Really strange actually, but it's nice. So you can see there it erases quite well, and that's with the Derwent electric eraser, but it erases really quite well. So I'm quite pleased with that. Now, as always, I've done a test with some black paper, and you can see here, surprisingly, when you put the pigment down on white paper, it seems very opaque and very, very thick and creamy and stuff like that there. But when it comes down on this black, it seems very more opacity and stuff like that. I don't know. It doesn't seem to show up as well as some of the other pencils that I've used, like the Lyra and the Koh-i-Noor. They show up really well on black paper. This, for some reason, doesn't show up as well. But nevertheless, it does show up, so it is something. So I think that is really about it for the Marco Renoir pencil. Like I said, I'm really kind of torn between this pencil. When you're laying down the colours and stuff like that, the colours are very vibrant, and it's very buttery and creamy on the paper. But there was a few pencils were a little bit like the Prismacolor. You could sharpen it all day long, and it just kept breaking. I think maybe that's something that you're going to have to put up with because the core is so soft and creamy. And if you like that type of pencil, then you're going to love these pencils. They don't come up in stock, so I give you the sets, but they don't come up in stock. So when you run out of a pencil, you're going to have to get a new set. But like I say, the price range is really, really reasonable. I've already made the comparison. I would say they're very, very similar to the Lyra and the Koh-i-Noor, only their quality control isn't as good as the Lyra and the Koh-i-Noor. When you sharpen these pencils, they sharpen really well. The ones that haven't, that aren't breaking because of the core, you do have to be very careful when you're sharpening them. I use the Derwent Superpoint manual sharpener, and it works really well on them. But like I said, if you have a look at this set, there was two pencils right off the bat that just, it didn't matter how many times I sharpened it with whatever types of sharpener, it just wasn't doing it. You can see it here with this red. It just wasn't doing it, and I was a little bit disappointed. I mean, how the cores of near enough all of them were chipped and broken. I mean, it's really strange. I've never seen any pencil come like that to me before. Anyway, guys, that's it. It's hard to recommend these pencils. It's really difficult to recommend them because for the money, they're really good pencils, and the coverage that they give on paper is excellent. Blending them together is really good. They blend really well together. Layering, not so much, but then there's a lot of colour pencil artists that really don't do an awful lot of layering. They get the colour they need and they use it, and that's fine. So if you're that type of colour pencil artist, then I would definitely say yes, these Marco Renoir. I mean, I personally enjoy using them. I'm just a little bit concerned about how the core was when they came to me, when I opened the tin. I'm wondering, is there something deeper wrong with the pencil for it to be like that? I don't know. That's the only one thing that's really niggling me. But then again, like the Prismacolor have these quality control issues, but people still go out and buy them, and because they're such good pencils, they're quite happy to set aside the issues that they might get with the product overall, as in relation to what they're going to get out of the pencil on paper. So I hope this review has helped you. If you want to ask me any more questions about them, please do. Just leave some comments down below, or if you want to send me an email or anything like that, you can do. You can follow me on Facebook and Twitter, Instagram. You can ask me any questions over there as well. If you want, the links for those will be down in the description. And don't forget, go across to my website, colourpencilreviews.com, and I've got lots of stuff going on over there as well. You can follow me on different links and sites over there as well. So thanks very much for all your help and all your support, guys. I really appreciate it, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye.